Greetings to all. Myself Ajitam, presenting here my thesis topic, National Museum of Architecture, New Delhi. Architecture is an experience of a space, a journey through time, a representation of civilization. Architecture is an expression of values across the entire range of human habitation, a context in which people live, create and evolve, the most lasting example of our time and culture. Why an architectural museum? Time is dynamic. Each act or moment of time is remembered by a memory of the past. Buildings, cities and towns are not just a physical artifact, but also a reflection of time. Architectural Museum opens a window to our rich architectural past, a center for learning about the environment in which we live today, a space that will inspire anticipation of future. All across India, we celebrate architectural landmarks created over centuries. The museum will bring alive the architecture of cities, communities and individuals, the architecture of public and private, the permanent and the temporary, and by doing this, it will create an awareness of architecture as a key element that will connect people to their environment, the art and craft, the material and technologies of time. Vision of the museum. A museum is a place where everyone with or without qualification can enter and be inspired by the stories of our past and present. The museum will function as more welcoming than a university, more accessible than a professional center, and this will work as an interactive space. In India, people just don't have any idea of what is architecture or what an architect do. Their works are not appreciated. They don't know why they should hire an architect. There is no place in India where multiple architect work is preserved, researched and exhibited on a permanent basis. What kind of collections do this architectural museum hold? Temporary and permanent exhibit, site, buildings and architectural idea through models, drawings, objects and new media of technology, and create an immersive experience of art, science and architecture through range of well-planned events and activities. The aim of the project is to design a museum of architecture to bridge the gap between the society and architecture. Its main objectives are to make people understand about architecture through an architectural museum, to bring back memories of the past and vision of the future, to develop education, research and development needs and architecture and related topics, to promote interactions between society through events and activities. The site is located at Lado Sarai, under the shadows of the historical Qutub Minar in New Delhi. In an area rich with archaeological site lies a 5.5-acre land adjacent to Mehrauli Archaeological Park, identified as an ideal location for a museum of architecture. The site comes in Zone F, Land for Education and Research Center, under the ownership of the Delhi Development Authority. The site is opposite to DDA Park, adjacent to MCD Primary School and Qutub Golf Course. Currently, the site serves as a Lado Sarai Sabji Mandi and paid parking facilities. Site is surrounded by well-established areas like Vasant Kunj, Tughlakabad, Hauskas, etc. Lado Sarai is considered as a center connecting prime areas. As it is an important tourist location, site has multiple connectivity of public transportations. Pedestrian access is very convenient as the site is located close to transport amenities. Workers, residents, students, street vendors, market users are the common user groups found here. The site can be accessed directly from Mehrauli Badapur Road, Lado Sarai and All MB Road. It is located in very active node where this road meets. There is a temporary road going through the site which is used by the local residents for access and parking. Lado Sarai residents are the main user groups of the DDA Park in morning and evening. It is observed that 81% of the land use is occupied by the residential areas at the core and other categories at the road edges. A fine-grained pattern is seen here. The Old MP Road contains a number of art galleries and designer studios that may host exhibitions regularly to display and sell their artworks. So considering this as an opportunity, different platforms can be given in the museum to display and promote their artworks. Also, spaces can be provided for gathering and public interactions. While observing the elevation, there is no relation with the context can be seen. Most of the buildings are in contemporary style. Some buildings try to bring historical features and color to the exterior facade to match it with the context. There are no historical monuments within 500 meters of the site. It is free from any conservation rules. View to the Qutub Minar is possible from a height of 50 meters or above. residential parking, Ladosarai paid parking, occasional events, waste disposal, food vendors, Ladosarai Sabji Mandi are some of the activities found in the site. All these activities conducting here does not have taken any prior permission from DDA nor any land rent is paid. Also, there is no upcoming government proposal for any of these activities, so it is illegal and can be cleared from the site. This is the existing form of the site, in which the circulation is happening through the center. From this, I had removed the existing road and proposed a new one moving through the periphery, connecting all the residential spaces. Front should have a minimum setback of 15 meters. Rear and side should have a setback of 9 meters. Floor area ratio is 1:20. Ground coverage is 35%. Permissible height is 26 meter. And the parking is 11.25 square meter of parking area per 92.93 square meters. From the section, all three roads meet at this point, forming an important node, and also it is the main entrance to the Ladosarai residential area. This is the Ladosarai junction. This is the All MB road. Public utilities in front of the site. Neighborhood on west side. People gathering around vendors selling street food in the site. The site has composite climate, having both summer and winter severe. The proposed site has alluvial soil. Wind direction is from northwest to southeast. As there are no tall structures or huge mass of buildings located at the direction of wind, there will be a smooth airflow without obstructions. This diagram shows position of the sun at different time period. No shadow is casted from the neighborhood structures to the site. These are the sun angles at different time period. Openings can be sensibly designed by using this. Some electrical posts should be repositioned. There is no major water logging in the site. Catchment area is located at the center of the site. Main noise source comes from the roads adjacent to the site. There are no old trees that need to be conserved in the site. Site provides thick vegetation at the boundaries which reduce heat and filters the views of residential building at the west side. Trees in the east side can be retained without affecting views from the Ladosarai road. Strength of the site are the location with strong historical context to respond to in terms of design. Good connectivity with public transport. Good connectivity with Maroli Badapur road. Accessibility to the site. Noise pollution is comparatively low as it is not located on Maroli Badapur road. Opportunities are proximity to Qutub Minar. The view to the Qutub Minar is possible from a height of 50 meters or above. Surrounded by 3 roads, the site provides flexibility in terms of allocating various types of entries. Weaknesses are site not exactly located on Maroli Badapur road, difficult to make it an important landmark. No physical connection with any of the historical places. Sewer lines passing through the site. Threat. Response to the organic settlement of Ladosarai acceptance by the locals. Heating. Heat gain is more in southwest side. Measures should be taken to reduce heating. The wind direction is to the southeast side, so massing should be done accordingly. View to the site. The prime focus will be given to the proposed building from the Ladosarai road. Site can be viewed from Maroli Badapur road as it has a very less proximity and located adjacent to the Ladosarai junction. No buildings in the background will be visible due to thick vegetations, which creates a visual buffer. There will be no huge structures constructed directly opposite to the site in future, as the land falls under regional park. Openings can be given to the east side. Potential view towards DDA Park. Service entry should not be given from potential access. First literature case study I have done is Bihar Museum, Patna, designed by Maki and Associate, a Japan-based firm. It is similar to my site in many aspects. It is situated in a crowded road edge, linear planning, etc. From the context, a lot of independent buildings are seen, so the zoning was done considering the surrounding, and the museum was divided into discrete parts. They considered the building as a campus scheme, moreover than creating an iconic building. Blocks are placed in chain groups on the basis of the site shape and the context. The spaces are effectively linked by outdoor courts plazas and cloisters, which treat it as a single complex. Control the scale of the building by sloping it back. Massing is done in a way that catches the focus of the people. A very less amount of openings are given to control the amount of light entering the building. Exhibition spaces work together and are placed adjacent to each other, making circulation easy. There are mainly two types of circulation. One is from exhibition gallery to exhibition gallery, and the other is through the outdoor cloisters. Second literature case study I had done is the Maxi Museum, Italy. The site is an L shape surrounded by military barracks. My site is also an L shaped one. Design strategy used here are: the plan is aligned with two urban grid to make it fit to the context. The concept is, museum is not considered as an object, but as a field, which many programs can be attached and work as a center. Through interweaving of lines, both interior and exterior spaces were produced. I did two live case studies, and first one is the new wing of National Gallery of Modern Arts near India Gate, New Delhi. The three new blocks have been placed orthogonally to derive maximum possible use of space inside and to keep distance between the new and old building. Colonnade is made to align the new building with the old. Colonnade is symmetrical and its height creates an interesting volume. Openings create more visual connection and avoids the feel of huge massing. The three blocks were connected with the bridges. Courtyards are used to link spaces between the buildings. Landscapes were used to conduct exhibitions, view installations, competitions, and sculptures. Natural lights were used to light up the exhibition hall. Skylights and open windows were used for that. The lights are passed through an atrium. It is also used to visually connect the spaces from ground floor to top. Second one I did is the National Museum, New Delhi. Planning is done based on the concept of central courtyard. Blocks are zoned around the courtyard based on their functions. New wings are added as the connection to the blocks. If there is a need for future expansion, it will not affect the massing, and the elevation remains same. Library and auditorium are zoned within the entrance area for easy access. Galleries are zoned around the courtyard as a core. While looking into the comparative analysis, through massing and planning of space, Bihar and Maxi Museum shows how the building should respond to the context effectively. Materials, building style, color have important roles in matching the building with the context. And for the zoning of the NGMA new wing is done based on function or activity. Each space works accordingly without interrupting one another. Bihar Museum clearly shows how buildings can be connected with nature. Landscapes can be used to link two spaces. Open displays and workshops can be conducted there. All four succeeded in creating that. And for the circulation, fluidity, flow and circulation derives a dynamic movement, which is better than moving in a closed box. Spaces seems to be endless. Pathways to walk through the building that connects the spaces and the user to outside. Visual connection and arrangement of exhibits can make circulation more easily. Atriums, openings, skylights, courtyards play an important role in bringing the daylight into the spaces. Maxi Museum brings in controlled daylight via roofing, which adds the experimental quality. NGMA, the atrium of the NGMA is well used to bring out the diffuse light all over the gallery from the skylight and openings. And for the display techniques, several techniques can be used to capture the viewer's attention or to display the exhibits in the best convenient way that a user can understand, read it, etc. Maxi Museum used curvilinear geometry for exhibitions, which is different from gallery spaces that are designed as large rectangular halls. In NGMA, panels are arranged in uniform direction, thus connectivity and flow of light increases. This will be a basic structure of museum requirements based on user group, and from this requirement I created a functional relationship diagram. I have calculated the area for the spaces. I took my special topic as lighting in museum, and I have designed some lighting techniques which will be discussed later in the design. Every museum has a story to tell to the visitors. Here the National Museum of Architecture reflects India's architectural past, present and future. But still, it is not clear what to say with the history. I have created a storyline through the chronological order of India's history of architecture. Starting from what was architecture for Indians, it is mainly temples and Vastu Shastra where Indians begin to start practicing architecture. After that, architecture was used to represent power through religious and secular buildings by Hindu, Muslim, and colonial rulers. After colonialism, nationalism started. Nationalism after 1947. Nehru's political vision of modern India. Then comes the time of modern architecture, based on personalities. Master architects' work. Technologies developed after postmodernism, what was happening around the world, new construction methods, styles, and materials. Today, architecture is based on firms, competition, etc. Notable firms' work will be displayed. And last, with the futuristic vision, advanced material and construction techniques, softwares, etc. This is how the narration goes. Fine-grained pattern can be observed from the context. Having one single mass building does not fit in this context, so I tried an approach of spread-out design. As the site is L-shaped, I found some difficulties in zoning the spaces and aligning the building. I started by creating simple framework by offsetting the site edges. Next, I worked on different layers of the site to zone the building. An active node is identified that connects to Old MP Road to Ladosare and Mehrauli Badapur Road. Also, this is the main entrance to the Ladosare residential area. A public plaza can be designed here. For establishing a seamless connection with the DDA park, visual connections should be made possible from the building. Identifying suitable points for service, considering the traffic and the road width. Zoning the library away from museum activities, also by creating buffer against heat and a suitable space for open reading. Created pockets of landscape and plazas to link the building space and functions together. Creating a form that reduces the feel of huge massing and blends with the contact. A basic zoning is done according to the layers and also incorporating what is needed for an architectural museum. This road is having a very low traffic compared to other two roads as it is going to a residential area. Main service to the complex will be provided through this road. The side service road is restrained through the periphery. Cafeteria and auditorium areas are also zoned adjacent to this area. Only emergency services will be given through the old MP road as it has a very high traffic. The main entry to the complex is given from the Ladosare road. The building does not want to seem too large in the context, so control it by sloping down the massing and turn to stepped form which can be converted to interaction spaces. Adding light wells made of basic cubes feels like it cuts through the stepped form and oriented in different direction to have different amount of lights to the interior. Used red sandstone as a material to symbolize the Old Delhi. Created a stepped massing, added informal seatings adjacent to cafeteria for interaction. Added vegetation to the roof layer that blends with the DDA park and also makes the building as a futuristic building that conserves the green. Temporary galleries are positioned at the end with a slight change in orientation. These galleries are flexible for future expansion without affecting the massing. Linear narration can be created with different spaces and volumes. The storyline can be easily readable from outside. In zoning level 2, the boundary walls are eliminated at the public plaza completely to encourage the public movement to the plaza and the complex. Basement parking is provided to accommodate the required number of car parking as per the bylaws. Converted the unused land to an exhibition ground. Formal and informal plazas were created. From that, I have arrived at the final master plan. And here the rooftop of the permanent gallery were converted into a public interaction space. And the people can access this through the stairs given in the public plaza. Given two major entry points to the site, a pedestrian entrance to the public plaza and a vehicular one. The plaza is given with a lot of informal seating which can be freely accessible for anyone. Any public media exhibition can be hosted here. From the plaza, people can access the rooftop. Different varieties of landscape and massing make the space very interesting and made a seamless connection to the DDA park. Vehicle enters the site through this point, stops at the drop-off point, and either it can go to the basement for parking or can exit through this way. The entrance porch is designed in an Indo-Islamic style. Moving from here, there is a plaza at a height of 1 meter Also, there is an alternative entry for differently able through this way. Visitors can be accessed to the plaza through the lift or stairs after parking from the basement. The plaza goes through a line of pillars that resembles the entry of a temple. Small openings at the ceiling produce different light patterns and shade to the plaza throughout the day. One can take ticket from here to access the museum complex. If there is a group entry, they can spend time in the exhibition plaza. Auditorium can be accessed from this plaza itself. Moving through this passage, another plaza will be reached. There is an OIT given adjacent to the administration block with a small cafeteria at the first floor. Talk shows, group gathering, informal meetings, educational purposes, workshops can be hosted here. Left to the OIT, there is a long linear exhibition area combined by landscape and plazas. Large open exhibitions can be conducted here, installation displays, sculptures, artworks, etc. Administration building is also shown near to it, so they can have a look over the exhibition. These pathways will end up reaching the open exhibition ground. Anything related to art or architecture can be displayed here. This is a temporary gallery, and they can remove the steps after exhibiting through this way and can transfer to the loading deck through these pathways. This is the main entry to the complex. From here, the visitor move onto a large lobby where temporary exhibits can be exhibited. There is a temporary exhibition hall at the end of the complex. The visitor can either move to the what is architecture gallery at the lower level or to the permanent exhibitions gallery. Restrooms are placed at the corners which cannot be seen directly. Service rooms such as AHU adjoins that. Fire escape stairs, ducts are given here. The service scope will remain same for every floor. Moving on to the basement floor, what is architecture is an open exhibition gallery. Visitor can touch, play with the exhibits that explains the elements of architecture and the principles of design. Storage for temporary holding of the artifacts were given here. Seminar halls were provided to conduct lectures and talk shows. The light from the skylight will lit the basement floor. It creates a different scene. The first floor of the complex starts with the Allied Fields Gallery. There is a bridge connecting to the auditorium rooftop for open workshops. Second floor continues with the Allied Field Gallery. There is a bridge connecting to the second floor of the library block, expanding the gallery. The total height of the building is 18 meters, so there will be a clear view of Qutub Minar from the rooftop. These spaces can be used for interactions and workshops. Basement parking. This is how an artifact moved to the museum complex after receiving from the unloading deck. The service is completely given through the basement, which does not interfere any other activities of the museum complex. Large storage space for crates, artifacts and panels are given. Paint room is given at the basement as it does not require any light. 140 cars can be parked at two levels of basement. Here is an explored view showing the components of the museum. Louvers were used to buffer gallery from heat. Jali walls were used at the facade. When light hits, the play of light can be seen in the gallery lobby. Service code remains the same. Spiral staircases are given to get the feel of verticality as the Qutub Minar is visible from the top. Vegetation layer at the terrace. The base layer consists of drawing medium, filtration, drainage and retention, roof deck. The first gallery of the storyline is what was architecture for Indians. It is mainly the temple and Vastu Shastra, where Indian begins to practice architecture. Entry to the temple complex is through a passage with lily ponds on both the sides, along with several idols, which brings a feel of entering into some spiritual positive space. Over the right side, there is a Vastu Purusha quote explaining about Vastu Shastra, grid planning and 9 planets. The plan of the temple complex fits in a perfect square grid. The 9 squares were broken again and again, lifted each blocks up and down differently and created a different in massing. Temples have existed in India for a long period. Over the centuries, principle behind the design, the space and volume remain same. While observing different styles of both southern and northern, The common thing that can be found is the tower structure, which are called both Shigara and Vimana. For creating a unique scene with lighting, the tower structure has breakdown into simple geometrical form, oriented in different directions, which gives a very diffuse light, as same as inside a temple. Sizes of the tower vary according to the spaces inside the temple. After the visitor enters to a collapsed temple structure, this represents the starting of Mughal era. Mughals take on power by demolishing Hindu religious building. A large archway is given through the collapsed structure, shows the unbeatable Mughals. Indo-Islamic architecture gallery is done as the same as the spatial hierarchy of a mosque. At the ground level, it functions as a gallery, and at the top it resembles the courtyard of a mosque. People can access this place through the public plaza. Jali and calligraphy are engraved in walls that creates a different play of light into the space. Exterior facade is designed with same elements of Islamic architecture, which can be easily distinguished from outside. Any models representing the Indo-Sasanic architecture can be displayed here. This hall is given in vaulted roof structure to represent Indo-Sasanic architecture. Outdoor spaces were used to represent live models to understand the elements of Indo-Sasanic architecture. From here, the pathway goes through a photo gallery showing architecture impacts before and after nationalism. Lack of amenities, homeless, poor living conditions, housing projects, Nehru's political vision of modern India, all will be included here. Next gallery is the nationalism, that is architecture after 1947. Modern architects' works are displayed here. After all this, visitor can exit to this plaza. Staff and facilities were given at the core areas. Two types of circulation are seen here, gallery to gallery, through the landscape. A visitor can exit or enter a gallery at any time. From here, they move on to live models of vernacular architecture of India, understanding the construction details and materials. After that, they can either move to the exhibition plaza near the library or back to the museum complex. This is the library block. It is G+2 with a basement floor. A portion is cut over here to not break the visual connection. The ground floor acts as an exhibition hall and are flexible to nearby plazas. Outdoor reading areas is provided over here. Thick vegetation reduces the heat and gives a cool shade. The spaces can be accessed from both inside and outside the library. Cutouts are given at the ground floor so that diffuse natural light falls to the basement. Services and common restrooms are given at the ground floor. Administrations at the basement. Service area remains same in every floor. Second floor function as the Allied Field Gallery, continuation of the museum complex second floor. RCC louvers were used to buffer the heat. The main entry to the administration block is from the OET Plaza. A lecture hall is provided at the ground floor under the OET seating and has a view towards the nearby landscape. From the unloading deck, artifacts move to the storage and processing room, and if needed, goes to the basement storage. The registrar cabin is given at the ground floor to look after all the processing of the artifacts. First and second floor are the administration block. First floor includes cabins for exhibition director, exhibition officer, finance manager, documentation officer, and other workspace. Also a cafeteria, which is connected to the OET, and open terraces at different level can be used as an open seating. The OET stage can be clearly visible from the first and second floor stage. The second floor has the Director General and the Deputy General cabins. Other spaces include workspace, server, and electrical rooms.